Okay, so now we're going to take a look at one of the main applications of discrete probability distributions, and that is expected value. I'm going to come back to what this is in a second, but let's work on how we figure out what an expected value is. So a roulette wheel in Vegas. There are 38 numbers to choose from. You pay $5 and then choose one number. If that number comes up, you win 175 and you keep 5. On average, what are your expected earnings or losses each time you play? So I want to clarify something here. When you win, the person in charge of the casino is actually going to hand you $180, right? But the amount that you actually end up winning is not $180 because you paid $5 for the game. Now, we're going to break down this probability distribution into a few situations. Either you win. If you win, you win $175. And what's the probability that you win? I think we can figure this out. You're going to put money on one number, and there are 38 numbers to choose from. So the probability that your winning number comes up is 1 out of 38. Now let's consider the other option, which is you don't win or you lose. If you lose, what do you lose? Well, you paid $5 for the game. The mathematical way we represent a loss usually is by putting a negative in there. So the probability of losing is -5. And now let's figure out what is the probability that you lose. Well, there are 38 numbers. You picked one. So the probability that you lose is 37 out of 38. If you're unsure of how to do this, you can always subtract 1 minus the probability that you win, and you will also get the same thing. So now, what is the expected value? You can see right here it tells us the expected value is the mean of the probability distribution. So I'm going to use Microsoft Excel for this. We put in our x values of 175 and -5. And the probability of winning is 1 out of 38. And the probability that you don't win is 37 out of 38. The expected value here would be -0.26. I'm just going to round this to -0.26. So on average, we can expect to lose. Think about this. You may have heard of the term, the house always wins. Well, Vegas has figured out how to basically fix the game so that you're going to come out in the negatives. So this negative expected value means that as you play the game over time, you will lose. All right, another application let's take a look at. It says a 21-year-old man just bought a $100,000 life insurance policy for $250. Based on the U.S. National Center for Health Statistics, this man has a 0.9985 probability that he will still be alive after 1 year. On average, what is the expected value of this policy? We're going to have the random variable x be the amount paid out or lost on the policy. So what's the probability that he lives? I'm sorry, what is the value that's going to happen if he lives? If he lives, he's actually going to take a loss here, right? How much is he going to lose? Well, he paid $250 for the policy, so he will lose $250. What's the probability that he lives? It says, based on U.S. National Health Center for Health Statistics, this man has a 0.9985 probability that he will be alive after 1 year. So the probability that he lives is 0.9985. Let's go to the opposite, which is what is the probability if he dies. If he dies, he is going to get paid out. But he isn't the amount that is paid out, we have to subtract the amount he paid for the policy. So if he dies, the amount paid out is going to be, we're going to talk about 100,000 minus 250. So that's going to be 99750. And what's the probability that he does not live? Well, it's 1 minus 0.9985, which is 0.0015. So now to calculate the mean, again, we're going to go to this Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to type these values in. So -250 if he lives, 0.9985 probability of living. He has a 99750% chance of for the payout for death and 0.0015 probability for that. And we get an expected value or a mean of -100. Again, this might be expected because insurance companies are going to figure things out to make sure that on average the consumer doesn't gain, but the consumer loses $100. This means that the insurance company gains $100. Now, let's think about this. The reason that the insurance company has this working out to be a negative value because the insurance company has to make money. They got to keep the lights on. They got to pay people to work. So they figure out these premiums to make sure that it works out to an expected value. Now, a tricky question, which I'm going to give you a second to think about, is what is the break-even cost? Well, it normally costs $250, right? The negative expected value of 100 means he is losing 100. If we take that away, that's like the amount he's overpaying. The break-even cost would be 150. Now, I just want to show you real quick in the Excel spreadsheet, if I change this to a $150 policy, he would lose $150. The payout would be 99850, and take a look at what we get for our mean. You see we have a mean of 0. That is the break-even cost. That is the point where the person is not profiting and the insurance company is not profiting. That is the break-even point for the policy. All right, we're going to take a look at one more based off of an industry. Again, businesses, insurance companies, they use this stuff all the time. A general contractor knows from past experience that a particular project has a 50% chance of being done on time, earning him a profit of $30,000. He also knows that there's a 30% chance that it will be 1 month late and he'll only profit $10,000, and he knows that there's a 20% chance that the project will be finished in 2 months or 2 months late and he will lose $1,500. What is the expected outcome of this project based on the above information? Let's break this down. All right, so the first one says that a particular project has a 50% chance of being done on time, earning him a profit of $30,000. So we're going to put the probability, which is 50% chance, right here, and the profit is going to be $30,000. All right, the next one says he also knows that there's a 30% chance that it will be 1 month late and his profit will only be $10,000. So we're going to put the probability, remember, we're going to write this as a decimal. I don't want percentages here. It needs to be a decimal or a fraction over on this probability side. And he's only going to net $10,000 if it's a month late. And the last one we're going to take a look at is if a project is 2 months late, he knows that there's a 20% chance that if a project is 2 months late, he's going to lose $15,000. So here's the 20% chance. Now losing $15,000, what would that mean? We're going to indicate that with a negative $15,000. I want to take a second and talk about why this is still a probability distribution. Even though we have negatives over here for the x values, really the two requirements for a probability distribution is that all of these values are between 0 and 1, and they are. And if you add up these probabilities, they add up to 100% as well. And both of those are the case, which is why this is still a probability distribution. Now, to calculate the mean, what we're going to do is we're going to clear out this table in Excel, and we're going to fill in these values, 30,000, 10,000, and negative 15,000. Please don't forget, the one thing I notice with students is that they tend to forget the negative for a loss. And this is going to be 0.5, 0.3, and 0.2. So the expected value of this policy is, sorry, I clicked off of that a little quickly. The mean right here is 15,000. So we can expect to profit about 15,000 from each job. Again, this won't be the same every time. Sometimes he's going to lose, sometimes he's going to win. This kind of goes back to that idea in probability, or back in previous chapter where we talked about the law of large numbers. You really need to repeat these again and again and again before you get close to this expected value.